Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for attending today's monthly UK demonstration. It is 11 a.m. in Dublin, and today is Tuesday, November 15th. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this all off with a question, and that's why are we talking today? And ultimately, as the saying goes, brand or be branded. So in a nutshell, there's no other place on the internet that shows both the employer and the employee perspective on why your company is going to be an employer of choice. And I'm of the belief that the best employer brand is a combination of the employer value proposition and the employee value proposition. Add to that your corporate or commercial brand reputation, and I think right there you have what ultimately encapsulates an accurate employer brand. We'll go ahead and dive a little bit more into that in a few minutes, but before we talk about how Glassdoor works, let's talk about some technical tips and webinar housekeeping for all you attendees out there. So quickly, you can connect to the audio using your computer's microphone and speakers. Alternatively, you may select the use telephone option after joining the webinar, and then all the lines except mine will be muted just to avoid any types of background noise. And then that being said, if at any point during the webinar you do have questions, you can and you should share them by navigating to the right where you can see a question pane. So go ahead and type those in at any point during the webinar. And then typically I do get a range of questions, so some of which I should be answering as I go through the webinar, but in the interest of time, I'll go ahead and save all the questions to the end during our Q&A. And then finally, I can confirm that a recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel should you want to share with colleagues or peers after today. So your featured speaker today is myself. My name is Lauren Hine, and I'm the Sales Development Manager here in our Dublin office. And here's a picture so you can put a face to the name. To give you guys a little bit of insight, I've been at Glassdoor just over a year and a half, and I started out as a sales development rep, and I've quickly grown to lead the team here, as well as help our marketing team in spreading the word about Glassdoor. And a little bit of insight is that we have actually had an incredible rate of growth, and this was fueled by the Google-led $70 million round of funding that took place at the start of last year. So some of you would have also seen the news of our launch in Ireland that just happened this past February, and that follows our launch in Germany, France, and the Netherlands, which has all happened in the past 12 months. So as you can see, we are growing very rapidly, and it's very exciting times here at Glassdoor. All right, and then for all you social butterflies out there, we encourage you to join the conversation online, and so you can use our hashtag, which is #GDChat, or you can go ahead and tweet us at Glassdoor UK. So #GDChat or tweet us at Glassdoor UK. So here's going to be a quick agenda of what we'll discuss today. First, we're going to talk a little bit about today's candidates and the way in which they make their decisions when it comes to finding a new job. And then next, we'll talk a little bit more specifically about you as an employer and your employer brand. Then I'm also going to tell you some quick wins and things that you can do immediately on Glassdoor today. And then I'll take you live to site for a few minutes to show you a little bit about what our solutions look like. And then finally, as I said, I will save the final few minutes for any questions that you may have. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is candidates' decision-making process and where they typically start their search. So right here we're on Google, but they could use various other search engines. And if you look at this screen, I take a few screen grabs of some typical searches that lead candidates to find Glassdoor and are ultimately going to find your employer brand. So entering phrases of what it's like to work there, salaries, interview experiences at a company, this is what's going to be generated here on Google. So why do candidates visit Glassdoor? And the simple answer is that the way that candidates make decisions has fundamentally changed. So in the past, the insight that candidates could get would typically only be from either your corporate careers page recruiters, or the hiring managers themselves. But as you know today, information and insight is more accessible from peer reviews and social networks. So this is really similar to booking a hotel using TripAdvisor or buying a TV on Amazon. Reviews and ratings is how consumers make decisions. So this is going to be no exception for the job seeker. They're able to research what it's actually like to work for an employer before they even apply for a job. So with that in mind, as I stated earlier, an employer brand is therefore a combination of the employer's perspective and their perspective of peers who are researching companies every day on places like Glassdoor. So let's talk a little bit about the candidate's journey on Glassdoor. So if you look at this funnel here on the screen, you can see the decision-making process, and I've highlighted every step where Glassdoor influences your candidate. So let's start at the top of the funnel where there's the awareness. This is going to be where the majority of employers invest in channels like LinkedIn, Indeed, TJ, and staffing firms. Glassdoor also provides job advertising to increase candidate flow in this top of the funnel area. So moving down one, once a candidate is made aware of the job, the next question they ask is, okay, I'm interested in this job, but do I actually want to work at this company? And this is going to be where Glassdoor's unique business value starts for the employer. So Glassdoor is the only platform that gives you an opportunity to influence the candidate at every step as they consider you as their employer of choice. The way in which Glassdoor is able to do this is through infusing all employer reviews, interviews, salaries, benefits, and ratings with the employer's brand so that the candidate can make a smart, well-informed decision when considering your company as a place to work. So an example of this would be a candidate can prepare for an interview at the employer by reading interview reviews from previous candidates on Glassdoor. They could also review their offer and compare salary and benefit information to make sure that that offer is competitive and ultimately the right choice for them. So every day we're making better and more informed decisions based on reviews. And this is because often in the past, our expectations just didn't match the reality. And so as consumers, we all turn to each other on sites like Amazon, Yelp, OpenTable, and TripAdvisor to make more informed decisions about product purchases, where to eat, and your next holiday. So as I said, this is going to be no different for the job seeker and deciding what company is the next place that they want to work. And Glassdoor's motto is, what we really do is exist to help people everywhere find jobs and companies that they love. So now that we live in a world of transparency, the way a job seeker evaluates a job and a potential employer has changed forever. So as a little bit of insight for you guys on the line is that Glassdoor launched in 2008 and has grown at an incredible rate since. So as I mentioned today, I'm sitting in our third office outside the U.S., and more often than not, when I have a conversation about Glassdoor, I hear the analogy of Glassdoor being TripAdvisor for employers. And now, actually, the TripAdvisor CEO sits on the board, and one of our co-founders sits on the board of TripAdvisor. So I think that that analogy is actually a very good and accurate one. Just a little fun fact for you. Okay, so we all know that where you work is one of the most important decisions you'll make in your life, and candidates feel the exact same way. There are going to be many factors that play into why somewhere is the best place to work and why we apply to a job. And as I said, people are going to Glassdoor to get that inside scoop and that 360 view of what it's going to be like to work for a company like yours. So on Glassdoor, not only can someone review their own company and search what it's like to work at others, they can also determine if they're a good fit for that company as well. And this ends up being a win for yourself as the employer, because what this means is that candidates are actually vetting themselves and are deciding if they are a fit in at a company before they apply. So ultimately, this allows the employer to receive better informed and higher quality candidates who have already decided that they believe that they're culturally and their background really fits with you as the employer. So I want to address that there is a huge misconception that Glassdoor is a rant website or a place where employees air their dirty laundry. And actually, the reality is that 70% of employees that leave reviews on Glassdoor say they're either okay or satisfied with their job and the company that they work for. You can see I have some stats right here. So these employees come to Glassdoor to research company culture, salaries, benefits, interview questions, business outlook, and CEO ratings. And then actually today, the fastest growing area of content on Glassdoor is going to be the job section. And this is where we allow employers to reach job seekers at a pivotal point in the job seeking process. We do that by serving up targeted ads to job seekers based on their research behavior, which makes them highly effective compared to standard job boards. A really great example of this is if you're, I'll say for myself, maybe looking at a pair of fancy shoes, and you go ahead and maybe log into your Facebook account later, and all of a sudden those shoes pop on the side of your page. So in the very same way, Glassdoor is targeting your job seekers with the most relevant jobs and following them around. So creepy, maybe it sounds like, but very effective. So let's talk a little bit about candidates' behavior today. A few stats for you is that 83% of recruiters describe today's talent market as candidate-driven. Candidates are weary of what employer messages say. Employees are 3 times more credible than the CEO when talking about work conditions. And then 75% turn to peers before making their own decisions about a brand. I'll go ahead and pause here and answer a very timely question on the slide, And the question is how is Glassdoor different to LinkedIn? And that's a great question, so I'm glad that was asked. And the biggest and key differentiator from Glassdoor to LinkedIn is our user-generated content. So Glassdoor has over 11 million pieces of content from 190 countries, and that's representative of 500,000 companies. So in addition to that, 4 in 5 Glassdoor users are actually looking for jobs or open to better opportunities. So you can see Glassdoor does provide a really great opportunity for the employer to reach those active as well as passive candidates. All right, here's another good question. What is an employer brand? And we've kind of brushed the surface of this in the beginning, but I'm going to go ahead and steal a quote from the founder and CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. And he says that your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. And the room today is very much the internet and social media. And then obviously for the purpose of this conversation, we'll say that that room is Glassdoor. And ultimately, if you as an employer are not going online and telling your story, someone else will go ahead and go online and do that for you. So these are some things for you to ask yourself as the employer. So would your current employees recommend your company to a friend? What are employees and job seekers alike saying about you on social? And then what is your company rating on Glassdoor? So as you can see on this next slide, 69% of workers surveyed would not take a job with a company that had a bad reputation, even if they were unemployed. And then another one stat for you is that 84% will consider leaving their current jobs if offered another role with a company that had an excellent corporate reputation in it. So kind of takeaways here in reality is that job applicants have access to more information about potential employers more now than ever before. So what candidates are able to do is weigh their options and compare benefits and salary and decide which opportunity and employer are right for them. So it really is as much about the candidate interviewing you nowadays as you are them. So Now, as an employer, when top talent comes in for an interview, you can think about why this company is the best fit for them. Maybe do research on Glassdoor on the company they came from and let them know how your company is better in those areas. So once again, as an employer, you can really leverage that content on Glassdoor with potential candidates. I know I'm already pretty converted with this slide, but just in case you're unaware, a strong employer brand leads to high brand awareness, retention, more job offers accepted, revenue goes up, more quality applicants, lower cost per hire, and then a higher number of referrals. So you can see on the latter side what a poor employer brand is, but for the focus of this webinar, we want to talk about having that strong employer brand, right? So why is it important to invest in your employer brand? Well, according to the 2014 CEB report, employers that invested in employer branding reported a 54% increase in the quality of their talent pool. So the first thing a candidate does before they apply to a company is research what it's like to work there. I know, for example, that I did this with different companies I worked for, especially right after I exited college. I was going online to research you any way that I could to see what you do and research what it's going to be like to work there. And for you as an employer today or after this webinar, I recommend doing some Google searches and put yourself in the candidate's shoes and see what comes up and see how candidates are actually consuming the information that's out there on your company. And then once you do that and you see what they're finding, what is good for you to think about as the employer is, are you attracting the types of people you'd want to come work for your company? So at this point, you're probably wondering what Glassdoor does exactly. And ultimately, we're helping companies communicate their EVP employer brand and helping them hire better quality and more informed candidates. And we partner with companies of all sizes across a wide variety of industries, as illustrated on this slide. And we love our key clients, but what's more important from these key clients is what we've ultimately learned from them. And as you can see, for VMware, we have a top 5 source of hire. For Auto Trader, we had 145 increase in brand awareness. And then Huddle, we were able to reduce their cost per hire by 88%. Great. So briefly, I want to kind of discuss what our solutions look like. And I'm just going to skim over them right now, and I'm happy to give you more information post-webinar if interested. But again, I have 4 key areas. And the first is going to be the enhanced profile. And that's the foundation of any campaign with Glassdoor, where you share your story. You're able to eliminate any competitor advertising, feature open positions, show rich media content that you've heavily invested in, and you're able to highlight Glassdoor across other social media channels where you're already posting, updates, information, jobs, etc. Next, which I briefly mentioned, is job advertising. This is where you're able to source quality applicants. You can target them by specific demographic, and that's also across various social channels. And then display advertising, that's where you're able to increase the brand awareness. You're able to target candidates researching competitor profiles, and also, if you want to take it a step further, you're able to do diversity and inclusion campaigns. For example, I moved here from San Francisco, and lots of companies would have a push for, let's say, like female software engineers. If you're looking for a very specific demographic, we can go ahead and help you launch a campaign to reach those candidates. And then lastly is analytics, and this allows you to track brand awareness, analyze employee sentiment, benchmark your employer brand and awareness against your competition. This is really great for a company to understand where they're really strong, and then also to find some areas for improvement. So, great. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hop live to site and show you a couple of the key differences between a partner of Glassdoor versus a company that's not. So go ahead and pull up the internet. Cool. So first I'll just start my Google search, and let's say working at Smith, for example. Cool. So you'll see I just entered in Google working at DS Smith, and as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and click in. Glassdoor pops up first and second on there. So I've just come onto their page, and they are not a partner. And so this is, if you don't have an existing contract with Glassdoor, this is what your profile probably looks like. So as you can see, there's some basic information and a company overview, CEO rating, and then the reviews. And if you look on the right-hand side, you can see that other companies are targeting DS Smith with their jobs. And like as you can see, I'm in Dublin right now, and I'm in sales, so I'm getting targeted with specific jobs that they think that I would like based on my experience. All the way down, and you can see that at this point, DS Smith doesn't really have much ownership of this. They're not really telling their story. They're really leaving that up to current and previous employees to tell their story here on Glassdoor. And also, if you are interested today in claiming your account, we do have free employer accounts that you can claim today. You can tell right here by going to that page, to that little red dot, you're able to claim your account completely for free by going on and logging into the Employer Center here. And you can do that today. And I'll explain that to you afterwards of how to do that. So really quickly, you see this page. With the free employer account, I do want to mention, you can add a company logo, update this basic company information, add some company photos down here, add some basic company updates, awards, and accolades, and then lastly, one of the coolest features is you do have the opportunity to respond to reviews. That's all for free on Glassdoor right now, today, by claiming this free employer account right here. Okay, now take a look at this page. I'm going to hop over to Arm Holding, who's a partner of Glassdoor, who, oh, oops. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So as you can see already right away, there are some key differences here. They have this branded cover photo that actually turns into a video. They're highlighted they're one of Glassdoor's best places to work in 2016. They've taken steps to become an open company. For the sake of time, I won't go into that today, but happy to follow up with anyone who is interested in an open company, which is also completely free. As you come down, you can see they have full real estate of this page with their own jobs, connected across all their social media right here. Company updates. They have a video of why join Arm Holdings. Then this is one of my favorite parts. They have different tabs for why work for us. So our culture, our impact, early careers, students, and benefits. These are 5 areas that they've decided to highlight, but as a company, you're able to decide which key areas that you want to highlight, and those are changeable at any time. Then we'll move all the way down. And it's not until you get down here that you see their first review. And also something I do like to add is that we do allow our partners to choose a featured review, and that gets the filter to the top of the page to be the first one that researchers see when they come onto their Glassdoor page. So as you can see, they have full real estate of this page, and Arm Holdings is kind enough to let us actually go into the Employer Center. And so there's some really great information. I spoke about the analytics, and you can see that Glassdoor has access to a ton of information. So not only here I can see their traffic, but I also can see their candidate demographic. So I can see the breakdown by education, years of experience, gender, and age. You can also see right here the top job titles people are researching when they come on here by location, and then the typical other companies they're going to after they visit Arm Holdings. And I'm literally just skimming the surface of what you can do with these analytics, but just as some insight, these are some of the things that you can use Glassdoor for, because like I said, we're able to collect a ton of information about candidates when they're coming onto Glassdoor. So I know I have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to hop back to the presentation, but happy to give you more information afterwards if you're kind of more curious here. About, oops, about what we do. Cool, okay, I'm back. So biggest thing that I would want the people on the line to take away today is that you should claim your free employer account and get involved in the conversation on Glassdoor. And we've got plenty of additional free resources available once you log into your account as illustrated here. So you'll find everything from webinars on demand to free ebooks and guides. And what we're really trying to do here is to create a portal that employers can use as a place for thought leadership. So I really do want to encourage you to go on and claim that profile and start exploring this center. And to reiterate, once you've claimed your free employer account, you can go ahead and manage your company information, use the ability to respond to reviews. You're able to understand the demographics of your candidates today, and you're also able to benchmark your brand awareness against your competitors. So all for free, you can do this today. If you take one thing away from this webinar, I hope it's that you feel the urgency to go out and claim that free employer account. So in conclusion, Glassdoor helps you brand, influence, and hire. So what we're doing is amplifying and communicating your employer brand, EVP, and ultimately hire and influence quality candidates. Today, I specifically spoke about the enhanced profile and job solutions to help you overcome your challenges and accomplish your goals as far as influencing and hiring candidates. So again, the next step is going to be to claim your free employer account so you can access some of the data I highlighted today. And if you do require a more detailed demonstration, please feel free to contact me today. You have my email address here on the screen, and we can go ahead and schedule a more tailored demo for you. And then, again, to reiterate, you can expect an email from us within 24 hours, and I can also that a recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel. And so at this time, if you have any pressing questions, now is a great time to ask. I'm going to go ahead and stay on the line for a few minutes to address these questions that you might have. And then for those of you leaving the call now, thanks so much for joining and enjoy the rest of your day. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to grab those questions and I'll go ahead and start answering them. Cool. First question, which is a great one and I love, is how should a company deal with negative reviews? And as I mentioned, you have the ability to respond to reviews even through your employer account. So if you're like, hey, it's too soon to make any sort of financial investment in Glassdoor, but I'm really wanting to engage in this conversation. If you do have, some negative reviews on Glassdoor, what I recommend doing is meeting with your leadership team and talking through these reviews and how you want to answer them, and then from there, going on and responding to them all thoughtfully. Obviously, at Glassdoor, we recommend always taking the high road when it comes to responding. Our CEO typically responds to a lot of the reviews, but let's say, for example, on the sales, so our VP of sales will respond to sales reviews, VP of marketing responds to marketing reviews, so they have really band together to discuss them, how they want to approach responding to them, and then they go ahead and take that action and respond to good, bad, and ugly reviews. So we definitely practice what we preach, and we recommend that you do the same. So if you do reviews, please feel free to get on there, claim your account, respond to them. Also, I mentioned the portal. We have tons of resources. We have resources that help you address all sorts of reviews. So feel free to also go on there to read up and learn a little bit more. Next question is, how would you suggest a company can encourage employees to leave reviews? Great question. In honor of transparency, we obviously want the reviews to be authentic, and we don't encourage you to really bribe or tell your employees to necessarily write reviews. But if you are really wanting to kind of increase the content on your page, what we suggest doing is launching an employee engagement campaign. And that's a really fancy way of saying to send out an email to all your existing employees and say, hey guys, we're on Glassdoor and we're embracing transparency. If you have 5 minutes, please go on and write a review or share an interview experience, your salary, etc. We greatly appreciate it. And so, that's one of the basic ways to kind of get content to that page and encourage employees to get on. So